Okay. So before proceeding to install grid application, means grid infrastructure, and exactly what is exactly the grid infrastructure? Up to the 10G, whenever we are installing ASM, up to the 10G, whenever we are installing the ASM, then the ASM home and grid home are separate, right? But this is the new
Right.
feature. This is the new feature of 11G R2, that when we install the grid, means grid infrastructure, then the ASM home and the grid home will remain the same. This is the new, right?
Okay.
So before proceeding to installation of grid, first of all we have to do some prerequisites. Like we have to create some OS user group, right? There are following OS user
Okay.
group. First is oinstall, right? It was already present in 10G, and the DBA group and the OPER group. If you ever install Oracle on Linux, you must have to configure all these three groups, OS groups, right?
Okay.
So
Right.
what is the meaning of oinstall? Means when we create oinstall group, then what is the purpose of creating oinstall group and DBA group, OPER group, admin group, and ASM DBA and ASM OPER? What I have did here, I have created a Oracle user. There are two ways. There are two ways. First is install. Means first way is install grid home and database home on a same user, as I have did here. Means I am creating a single user Oracle, and I will install the grid as well as the database, means to say RDBS, on the same user, right?
Okay.
So there are two ways. One way is create a single user, as I have created Oracle, right? And I will install grid plus, grid means ASM. There is a word grid infrastructure. There is a word grid infrastructure, means grid plus ASM, right? And what is grid? What is the meaning of grid infrastructure? Grid infrastructure means the grid is a combination of logical combination of multiple systems plus ASM, which stores, which manage your storage, shared storage, right? If you talk about the grid
Right.
infrastructure, previous of means if we talk about 10G, both are different, means previous grid are different and ASM are different. Now in a combination of both is called grid infrastructure, right? So from
Right.
starting from 11G R2, this is the new feature, that whenever we install the grid software, then the grid home and the ASM home will install on the same system, right? Same home.
Right.
Now there is a one way, create a one user and install grid ASM plus RDBS on same user, right? There another way, install, create another user grid, right? And install grid plus ASM on this user, and create another user Oracle and install RDBMS on this user. Got my point? So
Yes.
what is the purpose of creating these two separate users? Means if I am separating the responsibility of a storage administrator and the database administrator separately by creating two different accounts, mean by creating two different users, right? So
Okay.
now here what I have did here, I have created a single user and I am installing the grid as well as the RDBS on the same user. Now the points arise, why I am creating all these means groups, what are the working or what are the functioning functionalities of all these groups. First, uh, you have the idea small minus g. What is the meaning of small minus g? Have ever you have worked on Linux?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. What is the meaning of a small g? I am creating a small g. Means I've put it a small g in front of O install. What is its meaning? What it mean?
The primary group.
Right. And the secondary group. Right. I am creating a Oracle user and I am giving O install as a primary group and all these are as a secondary group. Right. O install, if I am giving O install as a primary group, that means that particular user, that OS user, have the privilege to use Oracle binaries. If I will not put this user in a primary group O install, then Oracle OS user will not get the privilege to access the Oracle binaries like exe file. As you are typing SQL plus, then this from this Oracle user, then SQL plus automatically runs because I am putting that user as a primary member of this O install group, right?
Right.
Now install group is clear why we are means putting this Oracle user as a primary member of our install group. Now the DBA responsibilities also availed by this Oracle user and the limited operational responsibility. Now as I am giving it as a DBA, means I am providing the DBA activities on RDMS. Same type of privilege I am providing as ASM admin to this Oracle user, right? Are you getting? Means
Right.
To create the disk group, to start the grid, to stop the grid, to drop the disk group, right? To adding some disk on disk group, right? All these stuff, these type of activities, this Oracle user will get automatically when I will make it as a member of this ASM admin group, right? Now, the second is ASM DBA. That means it has the responsibility of start and stop the disk group, adding disk group, but it does not have the destructive type of privileges. Means it cannot drop disk group or disk from the means from the disk group, right? And this is ASM Oper group. Means whenever I am creating a member of this ASM Oper group, it has a means it will receive a privilege to some limited operational type of activities, right? So we will create primary member of OInstall and secondary member of all this. Now if you are creating another user for ASM, so then you have to provide only these privileges to that user, so that user only able to manage the grid and or we can say ASM, right? I got my point. It has a member of ASM admin primary and secondary all these too, right? Now passwd is a command to change the password. Now I will change the password, right? I have given a password, new password to that particular OS Oracle user, right? After that, this is optional. I have shown you that if you want to modify some privileges, then the command is user mod, right? Here is a command user add to add the user, right? User mod, you can use user mod to modify the group and all these type of things, primary or secondary, right? Right? A option, if you will not use, then it will override the means group privileges. If you will use -a, that it will append these feature with previously, right? It will append, means whatever the new feature you want to add, append, you just use -a. Now these are the IDs. Here I have already explained what is this. Just a minute. Uh, Here I have explained a different means purpose of DBA, ASM admin, and ASM Oper, and all these type of privileges here, right? Already explained in the document, right? You can see it from here. Now there are some system parameter you have to change, as we did this step on 10G installation as well. But 11G's new feature is it will take all these parameters in between the installation, right? it has asked to run runfix.sh, right, a script in between the parameter, and it takes all these parameters as per the hardware and the software kernel is, right. So so if we will add these line to sysctl.conf, we have to add this line by using vi editor, vim editor to sysctl.conf, and it has to execute by using sysctl-p, right. After that we also have to add all these line to limit.conf, means number of hardware process, number of open file software process, right. After that we have to create a directory where we will install our RDBMS and our grid, right. I have created two directories separately where I will create my grid and the RDBMS, right. db_1, in db_1 we will create the RDBMS, and on grid we will create the grid, right. Now I will provide privilege to that particular directory, and I will give the ownership of that particular user to install and provide the privilege to that particular directory. We will change the ownership exactly. Now this is the bash profile. We will append all these lines into bash profile, right. Why we are doing this? Why we are doing this? Because whenever Oracle install, there are some environment variable has to set, right. By putting all these line to bash profile, that environment variable will set, means like what is our Oracle base, this is the Oracle base path. What is my Oracle home, this is my Oracle home path. What is my grid home, this is my grid home path, and we will export it. What is my Oracle SID, this is Oracle SID name. What is my unique name, Oracle unique name, we will provide the unique name. Library path, and we will put this thing, means /home/bin. Why we are putting this thing to here? Because whenever you type SQL plus on $prompt, right, then whatever the thing in this bin directory exists, that will automatically execute it. Means if you will type SQL plus from anywhere, means from any path in the Linux, then it will automatically execute it, because we have mentioned exact path on the path variable as we mentioned in Windows, right. This point is clear. But if we will not, if we will not do this, then we have to mention this full path, because this if we talk about EMCTL or SQL plus or netCA or netMGR, all these exist on the same path, on this path, right. So we will put this whole path on to path variable, that will automatically recognize whatever the value inside this bin directory, right. And whatever the exe present in this bin directory, we can execute directly from the any path, right. Now this is date format, this is the date format default, and this is DNS admin. We will execute this bash profile so that this parameter will apply. Now we will find some there are some RPMs, Red Hat package management, right. Some RPMs are required to install our grid as well as the database. So first of all, we will check whether the required RPM are not missing, and this is the command to check. These are the required RPMs, right. We will fire this command. We will get that's all. Means these 4 RPMs are not present in my installation, so we will install it separately, right.